My name is Nicole Hoffman, and I'm here to give a speech on cultural recognition, and the culture that I've chosen is crazy horse people. So before I get started, Tyler, my cameraman, is going to pan around and get a shot of all of my people that are here to see it. Thank you very much for being here. Hope you enjoy that 20 bucks I gave you to be here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I've been told that horse people are crazy. And have you guys ever been around a group of horse people and you're listening to them and you're listening and you're like, what are they talking about? I don't understand a word they're saying, and you walk away shaking your head and thinking that we're crazy. Well, it's partly true, but most of it comes because we are very passionate and love these animals. I can say that I spent my whole life around horses, and I have learned a few things, and I also can see why people think we're crazy. So I'm going to discuss with you a few things that I think make us come across as the craziest. First of all, some of those crazy names that horse parts have. Second, why we think it's okay to stand up to a 1,000-pound animal. And third, why we love the smell of a barn, and we do. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with those crazy names. Did you ever know that there's something on a horse called a frog? It is. Horses are very unique in their anatomy, especially in their legs, because when they were prehistoric, they had toes. And evolution has made those toes disappear into just one. So all the rest of their toes are gone, and now all they have is one toe that goes all the way down with the final bone ending in their hoof. And within that hoof is where you find the frog. Now, to see the frog, you have to lift up the horse's foot and look under the bottom, and there you'll see something with a V shape. That's a frog. I've done a little research, didn't find anything credible that told me where that name came from, so we just accept it for what it is, and yeah, we pretty much think it sounds crazy too. That thing doesn't resemble a frog at all. The next piece I want to tell you about is something called a chestnut, and somewhere up the horse's leg, I believe it's just above the knee, on the inside of their legs is something called a chestnut. This is one of those toes. After they evolved and those bones went away and those toes went away, that's what's left behind. It serves no purpose now. And to kind of tell you how crazy we are, when they get really thick, because they're like a callus, they're like a hard callus, we like to peel the top layers off of them because they get thick. So enough with anatomy. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move on to why we think it's okay to square up on these animals. And I can tell you that we have spent most of our life around horses. We understand the horse, we understand their behavior, and we can tell when they're bluffing and when they really might want to come and kill us. When they're bluffing, it is our job to be in charge and tell them that they cannot do that. So we know what to look for. When they are playing, there's a lot of times you'll see them bucking and running and snorting and all kinds of things. And again, this is something that we can tell. We can look at them and say, that horse is playing. It's having a good time. It's fine. I'm going to go out and I'm going to run and play with them. The other time that you might see them doing this is when you put them out in the pasture. They love to be out in the pasture. It's when they feel good. They love to run with their friends. It's been a long winter, so you put them out in the springtime and they go have a good time. So it's really up to us to determine when we watch these horses what they're doing and what all of that body language means. And we can tell what it means. Now, I'm going to kind of move on to the next part, and that is why we love the smell of a barn. For me, I can say that it's mostly peace and comfort. I grew up with horses, so when I walk into a barn and I smell a barn, it's like going home. I can drive out in the country, if I smell a barn, it makes me happy. It keeps me peaceful. When you have a bad day and you go into a barn, these are those horses, these are your friends, and it smells like a barn, but it brings you peace and comfort and happiness, and that's, for me, why I love a barn, even the really smelly ones. So I think I've covered all three topics. That was those strange names that we give them, why we think it's okay to go up and engage at a snorting 1,000-pound animal, and why we think a barn smells like heaven. I hope that it made you understand a little bit more about why horse people are crazy. It really just comes from our passion, our love. And I think that if any of you have an opportunity to walk into a barn and breathe in and go find a horse and tell it a secret or tell it how bad of a day you had, I think that you might walk out of that barn being a little bit horse crazy too. So, thank you.